Ready, go. Okay, ready, go. So this is the front view. Go. So what I see here is different things, but the first, as your backswing starts, you're quickly leaning this way.
Yes, yes.
With that, you're lifting your arms high up here.
Yes.
And then on the way down, you're pulling the club or the handle down quite a bit.
Right.
The club head is moving away from your body.
Right. Yeah, I tend to do that when this knee seems like when it's straight and just get going that way.
The ideal way is you shift away first,
Right.
and then slightly recenter and come back to the initial position instead of
Going that way.
leaning this way here.
Right.
And your right elbow is really high here.
Yes.
That's why you have this crossover alignment here. So basically, as you start the downswing, you're pulling the hands
Right.
down. The club is moving away. Yeah, it's fairly arm-driven here. So I know you have the knee issue. So you had the replacement.
Yeah, it's fine.
Mm-hmm. But you're not using the lower body much. And then let's go to the down the line view here. Go. So when you start the backswing, the club head is going flat here, low.
Right.
And then eventually you'll bring it up here. Look at how much crossover you have.
Right.
It's because the right elbow is lifted high and also it's pointing backward here.
Right.
Because the club goes that way.
Okay.
And then, so you're hitting the ball with the arm action at the beginning of the downswing.
Right.
So you have to get away from that pattern here. And then on the way down, because you're pulling the hands down quickly, your body stands up.
Straight up.
So we have a lot of up and down. You're pulling it. What happens is when you pull something, then the force always acts in both directions.
Right.
So if your hands are, or your body is pulling the arms and club down, then the arms and club will pull your body up in the opposite direction. You have
Yep.
tendency of standing
Right.
up here.
Yep.
And almost your heel is already left the ground.
Right.
Your body is going up quite a bit. And this will help to have relatively clean impact here. Because if you don't do this, then you will hit the ground really hard.
Right.
We are pulling it down. Then let the club head go away. Then club head will go around your body and hit the ground hard.
Right.
In order to prevent that, either you
Short
or
or stand.
chicken position, or in your case, you're
Right.
lifting the body not to hit the ground.
Right.
But still, when you repeat this shot, you know already hit the ground.
Yes, twice, which I normally never do, but
Look at this. It's almost like a jumping. It's an interesting posture here. Yeah. And then naturally your swing plane is quite outward here.
right, right.
Because you start from the flat backswing,
Right.
and there is the crossed over.
And then loop it on.
And then if you don't adjust the direction here by turning the body early, if you turn early, then it's called the over-the-top swing.
Right, right.
And if you don't do that, then naturally you come down this way. You have really
Right.
outward swing.
Right.
Yeah, so you have to fight this urging
Right.
of using the arms and pulling it down.
Right.
Now the question is, so this is the pattern I'm seeing quite often in these days. Actually, last 4 or 5 golfers had the same pattern,
Wow.
going flat backward. Also, the bad news is, this is one of the swing patterns really hard to change,
Okay.
because in your image here, you always have this here.
Right.
So it's hard to beat this one here.
Right.
In order to prevent the whole thing, you have to move your arm this way here instead of going this way here.
Right.
But once this is in your swing, it's hard to change. So this will be a challenge. But so first, try to feel what it is like. Okay, this is called the E bell, Erickson bell. Be careful with the
Okay.
wheel here.
Yep.
In order to use it with the functional swing plane board, I installed the wheel here. So make sure it doesn't hit your body.
Right.
When you hold it here, naturally it will give you an angle.
Right.
And as you swing this back and forth, try to just throw, instead of try to control it with your arms.
Right.
Just let it go, let it go, let it go.
Okay.
So just go maybe about this side. Throw. You don't have to throw really hard.
Okay.
Just maybe horizontal to horizontal, shoulder
Okay.
height.
Okay.
Swing back and forth. It's going here. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention. Now, when relax arms.
Okay.
Don't try to anchor the elbow here and try to lift it here. Just
Okay.
relax. Now
Okay.
here, this will give you this natural inclination here.
Okay.
Try to maintain this angle here,
Okay.
and then the same thing. So you have to throw it this way.
Okay.
If you just try to spin, then always go this way, flat here. So you have to throw out both ways. And then as you do this, overall you should have a good control here.
Okay.
And then do not let it move this way too much.
All right.
So it's just going this way nicely. Continue the motion. Swing. Still in the backswing,
It wants to.
you tend to move that way here.
Okay.
So what happens is you go here, and then if you drop it, then you're coming down this way.
Right.
Instead, try to maintain consistent motion plane. And then also, in order to make this easy, then you have to use your legs to swing it instead of your arms. Okay, so now let me try this. So watch me doing this.
Okay.
Oh, stand on. This is where you always stand.
Okay.
Throw. You don't have to go really quick here. So throw and wait until this is completed, and then throw, so that as you repeat this motion, the motion should be consistent.
Are you doing this with your body, not your arms? Right.
So the arms are just holding it. The motion is mainly coming from the body. From the beginning, as soon as you start, you go to here.
Okay.
Instead of trying to throw it that way, laterally. Yeah. And then, still, it goes out and then it's coming in and then coming out this way.
Okay.
Maintain consistent plane. You have to image the plane. So currently the backswing is inward, so the downswing is outward here. Now the motion is more consistent, but
Right.
you're mainly going this way here. So instead, go that way,
Right.
and also this way instead of going
Okay.
in the diagonal direction.
Okay.
Mhm. And then it's too quick. So have more time in the transition.
Okay.
When you change the direction, it's called the transition.
Right.
In the transition, no fight, no intentional control. So let it go in the wait until it is completed, and then start the motion.
Okay.
It's too high. So about shoulder high at most. So still there's a motion in this direction. Still it's not that stable here. If your goal is to move this consistently, you have to adjust to your body motion and then let this happen here. So swing, instead of going
Yeah.
yes,
Right.
swing, throw, throw. So instead of using the arms and then try to do this,
Right.
using the lower body. So imagine that this is a heavy bag of cement or something. So when you try to load it on the back of the truck, you have to use the legs. No, in the backswing you're turning too much. So also, if you look at your foot position here, left foot is more in front of the right. Already you're biased.
Right.
And then currently in the backswing you're going this way. So try to go this way more.
Okay.
Intentionally. And then turn left more. Yes. Now the motion is a lot more consistent here. Oh, it's going backward. No, going that way. So make sure your backswing you don't go that way too much. And the lower body actually currently, what's happening is, as you swing this way, it's just coming in like this. Instead, your lower body really has to help this motion instead of going this way. Okay? You have to really push the ground up, and then swing it. So try to swing it more left this way, so that you can adjust the backswing direction. Yep. So one thing you have to avoid, okay, is going up here and then turning this way like this.
Okay.
No coming in like this. Then this will give you really bad outward swing. Just to go here and then bring it down, just to make it consistent here instead of
Right. Okay. Okay.
So now what should happen is actually, as long as your upper body leans toward the direction you're turning, then it's always coming inward here.
Okay.
But then in order to prevent this, what you have to do is shift it this way, but
Stay that way.
going more this way here. You have to keep it straight.
Okay.
So if you lean slightly this way, but it's not going like this, but rather shift away and then lean this way here,
Okay.
then you will have less motion going
Okay.
here. Again, so try to assume slight reverse field posture at the end of the backswing. And also, so currently your pelvis is sliding early. So this is what's happening. You go here and then slide here, and then when this happens, body moves away, and then you're just using your arms here.
Right. I feel that a lot myself.
In order to really use the lower body to help the upper body turn, you have to wait until this happens here, reach the end here, and then using the lower body, you should be able to throw this instead of.
Okay. Okay.
So your pelvis motion is going too early, sliding too early. Yes. So have the image of throwing. And then when you try to throw, if the pelvis slides, you cannot do that, right? Still, the pelvis tends to slide this way more. Okay. So I think this is good enough. So one thing you have to be always aware of is that in order to change the movement pattern, then you have to know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong.
Okay.
Without knowing it, then it's hard to change anything.
Right.
So now your main problem is going inward quite a bit.
Okay.
Then you have to use whatever possible not to do it.
Right.
But if you keep subconsciously, you just keep doing this,
Right.
then there's no way to change. So you must have a more intentional effort
Right.
to bring this more laterally instead of going inward. Okay? And then, so as you turn this way, just your goal is to let it go this way.
Okay.
No need to move the body prematurely like this.
Right.
Just the goal when you throw something to the right, then just throw it and then maintain this position here instead of go here and then always try to move this way here.
Right.
This is actually bad movement.
Okay.
Okay? So you have to delay the pelvis motion.
Okay.
And also, when you go in the backswing direction, again, try to go to that posture here. In this position, what happens is your right leg is straight, and then
Right.
you don't let the pelvis go this way at all. Your knees are already bent.
Okay.
That means you're not really shifting this way here. So widen your stance a bit more,
Okay.
and then put your the arms in front of your chest here, just to shift it to the right. So shift so that your right hip is on the right foot here.
Okay.
So give this much shift first,
Okay.
and then start turning around the right hip here. Stand on the right side. Stand on the right side.
Okay.
So yeah, lift the left heel. That's good. And then if I put my weight on your shoulder here,
Right.
your right leg is supporting your body.
It is.
And then in doing this, instead of bringing the hip back too much, you have to just bring the hip up more.
Okay. Yep.
So then you will go more this way here,
That way.
okay? Instead of moving backward.
Yep.
So currently, in your general swing habit, what happens is as you go this way,
Yep.
then the whole body is spinning this way here.
Right.
If I don't do anything with the upper body, simply move the lower body like this, then you see my upper body is facing this way.
Right.
And then even if you are just moving your arms laterally, this is the lateral direction here, right?
Right.
But if your lower body turns, then your arms are pointing that way.
Right. Right.
That's why you have inward swing.
Right.
So if this happens, in order to adjust the distance, you have to actually throw it more this way.
Okay.
Then without turning, your arms are more going this way here, and then turning, the arms will go this way.
All right.
So either you change the direction of the hands, but ultimately you have to change the way you move the pelvis. So shift it to the right, stand on the right side, and then push the ground. And then you should not give the feel of turning this way. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Turning this way here.
Right.
Instead,
Okay.
you have to turn the body this way. Again, it's not your main interest to bring the hip back too much.
Okay.
So the pelvis has to more go laterally here,
Okay.
and then turn the shoulder more this way here.
Okay.
Yeah, then what happens is this goes low
Right.
in front of your body. This will go high up here,
Okay.
or this position here,
Okay.
instead of turning
Yeah.
this way.
Okay.
So this is what you need to feel.
Okay.
One thing that will help is like a club here. And then instead of going this way here, that means if you turn this way,
Right.
your shoulders are going flat because
Right.
your pelvis is going this way.
Flat.
Your whole body is basically facing
Right.
that way. Instead,
Okay.
then naturally you have to shift the pelvis more this way here. And then you will be able to stand on the right side nicely.
Yep.
And then the left leg will be more extended here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the feel you want to have.
That's quite different.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as long as you turn this way and then bring the arms this way, you always have this
Right.
crossover
Right.
posture here.
Right.
Then this is the beginning of the downswing. You're already in the wrong position. It's hard to do it right in the downswing.
Yeah.
So again, you need to have the feel of keep the arms here, and then if you turn during the backswing, it should go more this way here instead of turning this way. Yeah. That feel.
Yep.
So that's very different. And then when you do that, you will feel tension in the
Yes.
hip muscles here.
Yeah, right there.
And then the more you do that, the
Less
less
you
you will
do that.
move that way here.
Okay?
So from here again, lean slightly forward, and from there, if you just turn the arms about the spine axis here, then you're going to this position. You build the tension in the hip muscles here
Right?
instead of turning this way.
Right.
Yes?
Yep.
So that's what you need to do in the
Okay.
backswing.